One of the great things about board games is the social connection that you could have with people you're playing with, whether that's your friends that you've known for a long time or people you just meet. So I thought I'd get along some new friends of mine, very big in the Melbourne gaming scene, which is Meeple University. We've got Stella and Tarrant. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. I wouldn't say big. I was like, yeah, we're just like there mingling and not single. It's single and mingle, no. That's how I started when I jumped into this wonderful community.
So if people weren't familiar with Meeple University, can you give me a rundown of who you guys are and what you do?
Sure. So we are board game content creators, and we are obviously based in Melbourne, Australia. This is quite a fun story, I guess. I was saying about community. I met lots of friends by going to the meetup. I was single then. And then this guy was one of them.
Strapping young lad.
Yes, strapping young lad. Yeah. We were playing Valley of the King, and he was so impressive. It was like his dry joke, his winning streak. Like, who's this person? And it was like he's wearing jacket with holes. Like, who's this person? But yeah, that's I kind of like fell in love with the community. So I was like, okay. So I feel like I was accepted. I mean, I'm in Australia, and I mean, still mostly male, but at the time I didn't feel daunting or anything like that. I feel, okay, yeah, everyone's friendly, everyone's welcoming. So that's how I get into that. And then met Tarrant, and then we are, I realized Tarrant is really good at explaining games. So why don't we just record you, and so that we remember how to play this game in the future, upload on YouTube. And that's what happened.
And then that led to Meeple University, which is obviously still ongoing, but sort of a really popular channel to lots of learn to play. But then you've also broached out to other board gaming, some stuff, which is very exciting. You also are running or helping organise a fortnightly meetup in Melbourne as well.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, in Melbourne Lion Pub. It's me and Tarrant, and we used to go to Melbourne meetup, but then it was Gamezilla.
We used to go to Gamezilla. It was one of many meetups pre-pandemic. There were quite a lot of them out there. That one, like a few of them, a lot of them lost venues, I think, and a lot of them...
Rentals too expensive.
Yeah, the combination of losing venues and the lockdowns, I think, did harm a lot of the meetups that were happening around at the time. So yeah, it was early 2021 as we were coming out of the second lockdown that we had here. We started to, I guess we wanted to fill that gap a little bit and find a place where we could run a public meetup.
Yep.
So how did your experience sort of change from being someone who was enjoying the meetups and obviously had the connections and social connections that had been formed there, to then running your own? Did you find much of a difference there, or did the change of role sort of highlight anything in particular?
I think different ways of people running their meetups, and I've been to different ones. There's one that is kind of like easygoing. There's no entry fee, and it's not the owner of a restaurant. So this is where we are. We want everyone to get used to what they want to do. They're adults. They know what to do. Don't need us to, babysit. I mean, I'm not saying it in a bad way, like whether it's babysit or not, but there are different meetups where the host will teach the games. For us, it's more laid back, everyone can come, and helping the business at the time especially. Melbourne Lion, they were like approaching me and, we've got venue, the back room, it's empty. Do you want to have your meetup there? Because at the time we were having it somewhere else. And it's like, okay, that seems good. And then it's more separated from the rest of the crowd. So yeah, that's how it started. And it doesn't really feel that much different because of that, just you do whatever you want.
A bit of a hands-off.
Yeah, a bit of a hands-off, not the...
I guess you're saying about entry fees, just obviously sometimes venues will be like, yep, happy to use the space, and it's on a Wednesday, it's not competing against other things, but sometimes you've got to hire it, which it can be a big cost for one person to handle, so it's fair enough to split it up.
Yes.
The other thing, so that's sort of the in-person meetups, which obviously you can form again, I'm saying social connections.
Like you were
yes,
there.
Yes, I have been there and I've enjoyed it. I need to go back. Work is hard sometimes
Thank you.
in the
Yes,
city.
yeah, I understand.
But you also, I saw a recent video of yours where you're talking about meeting people who had maybe seen your content and meeting them in person at different conventions around the world. So that's another side of social connections that we can sort of talk about that board games and content creation allows. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I wish Tarrant's coming with me, but he's got a day job.
Yeah, I guess we have quite different experiences, right? Because I've only
yeah.
been to one convention overseas, which was in 2019.
It was Origins.
Origins. We were relatively new then, so I think a few people, we had mild recognition, but yeah, you've been to many since then. And
Yeah, I love it. It's just different meeting people, because I work a lot with people across the ocean, from America, from Europe, anywhere, and it's always great to see them in person. The first time I was like, oh, it's good to finally meet you, but now it's like, hey, let's catch up. It's just the vibe and the new game release. I was like, oh my God, games. I'm still excited about games, so I guess I'm lucky doing this and still excited about what I do. I'm blessed, I guess, and going to conventions, connecting with different content creators, different publishers, our viewers. It's just an amazing experience for me.
I guess that's the other benefit of often, games are coming out at a convention in America. It might be a couple of months to a week here on our shores, but if you're going there anyway, you might get an early little look at them, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Because I think you are right that conventions are a great way to catch up with friends you haven't seen in a while. But if you had people who, maybe they've got some friends at board gaming, but they're not really that big into the scene yet, but they like some of the games that they play and they want to play some more. Is there any recommendations that you would, or any encouragement you would give them?
From a general standpoint, I think the public meetups really are a great way to go from that standpoint. We alluded to it before, we both had started going to public meetups separately or individually because we hadn't met at that point, as a way of meeting like-minded people. I think we've often commented to each other that Meetup, is it meetup.com? Is that what it's?
Yes.
It's an app that, through board gaming, through basically any hobby that you could want to find, that exists as a way of creating these meetups and bringing people together. And it's kind of the best dating app because it puts you into a natural situation with a shared hobby and just gives you that place to jump off from.
Melbourne's in the scale of the world, it's not the hugest city, but we've got a lot of board game fans. I think you will find there's quite a few different meetups, and you can kind of find the right one for you.
Yes, there are a few.
There might be something that's this is a bit more people taking serious gaming. That if you really want that sort of competition or those sort of games, you're going to love it, but it might not be for everyone, and then that's okay.
Yeah. I appreciate those meetups. I know that our friend Derek, he's doing the heavy meetup as well, the Sunday one, media games, I think. And for us, it's just like whatever you feel like, you just play. Like people has got different preference, and that's also okay. And our friends doing it in Baldwin, and we're trying to not step on each other's toes, and we're doing it separate days.
There's lots of really great people. I think in any sort of community, there are people who maybe aren't as welcoming, but generally, I find it's a pretty welcoming scene, and lots of friendly faces. So definitely recommend trying out board games because they are all fun. Stella and Tarrant, thank you very much for coming down and having chat about your experiences involved in the sort of Melbourne gaming community and then the worldwide community as well.
It is our pleasure. It's my pleasure.
And mine as well. Thank you.
I can't speak on behalf of you.